shouldn't happen, that you should be able, especially on a college campus, to come and at least have a debate, talk about things that are tough, and to have it happen like this. I mean, Elise was just shaking when we were talking to her. Her hands were visibly shaking as she's holding onto her purse there. It's just a tough situation, and I'll show you the line again. I mean, we hear more police sirens here. I mean, the line, it's just cars backed up all the way, more students and people just leaving campus here, just trying to get out after what they've talked to. But things do certainly appear a lot calmer now than when we first got here maybe 30 minutes ago. We saw some people running when we were pulling into this parking lot here at UVU. Now it looks like people are just casually walking, but just, it's a sad day. Again, no matter what side you're on, this stuff, people saying shouldn't happen. And they're sharing their stories with us, so let's send it back to you for now.
Alex, thanks for catching and carrying that emotion in such a compassionate way. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. This was part of the American Comeback Tour by Charlie Kirk. It was a stop at UVU. There was a planned stop at Utah State a little bit later. The plan was to set up a Prove Me Wrong table there under that tent where people from the crowd would pose questions or challenges that then would, play out in a live debate. That event had not even really gotten underway when this particular event happened. Charlie Kirk shot this morning on the campus of Utah Valley University.
All right, we want to check in with KSL News Specialist Daniel Woodruff, who is also on campus. Daniel, we were just speaking with Alex Cabrero, and emotions, as you can imagine, running very high. Describe to us what you're hearing there on campus.
Yeah, definitely high emotions, Tamara and Brooke, and we'll talk to some other witnesses in just a minute. But first, I want to show you where we are. We are on the west side of the Utah Valley University campus, and as my photographer shoots in here, you can see the tent that says "Prove Me Wrong," and that is where Charlie Kirk was speaking when he was shot. And you can see behind there's an area where all of the spectators were gathered to watch his speech and to witness exactly what happened. I'm joined by 3 Utah Valley University students. This is Isaac. I'll start with you, Isaac, and you're from West Jordan, I understand.
Yeah.
You were in the crowd. Tell me what you saw.
We were just in the crowd, and oh, you can hold it. Okay, yeah. We were just in the crowd, and we were just watching him do his debate. Nothing was crazy was going on. Wasn't any crazy topic he was talking about. And immediately, we were sitting next to each other. We just heard an immediate pop. We're like, what's going on here? And then after that pop, we just saw him in his neck. We saw him fall backward, blood shooting out of his neck, hit the floor, and we just had to bolt it out of there immediately. We got all soaked, running through the water. It was actually surreal. We didn't actually know what was going on. We just kind of were like, oh, like this might be like some skit. What is this? And we had no idea until everybody started running out of the way, and we're like, oh, this is one of those scenarios where you're actually in like a school shooting like position. You're like, holy. Then we got to get the hell out of here. So
yeah, how close would you say you were to where he was speaking?
Probably 20, 30 feet from where he was speaking. I actually personally saw him get shot. Everyone else was filming, and I was just sitting there just watching the debate, just seeing what was going on. And then I just immediately hear a pop, see him get shot in the neck, blood come out of him, and then he just hit the floor. And then I just take these guys, and we just run out of there.
Chris, I wanted to ask.
I thought that would more happen in more crime city type places, not at UVU, Utah. But it's a crazy experience. That's all it is.
Erica, I assume you were with these 2 guys as well. What did you see from your perspective?
I couldn't really see just because of all the people, but just the gunshot sound. We didn't think it was a gunshot at first. Everybody kind of stood there for a second and then hit the ground, and we all just ran out.
I can only imagine that feeling when everyone starts to run and panic. Can you describe what you did next after the shots?
I just ran. He grabbed my hand. I was just getting dragged, basically. I was pretty in shock, and so we ran through the water of the fountain just trying to get out of there as fast as possible.
Tell me why you had come to his event and why you wanted to hear Charlie speak today.
I just see him on social media and stuff. I like what he has to say, and I was excited to see the debate and hear more of what he has to say.
Yeah. We hear about political violence, Chris, and I mean, you don't think of it happening here. You don't think of it happening where you are, but yet here we are. How have you been processing the aftermath of this news?
To be honest, it's crazy to me because I wasn't even like that shocked in the moment. I was kind of like, did this really just happen? You know what I mean? I wasn't like frantic or anything. I just got out of there safety quickly, but it was a crazy experience. I don't know why or how this happened, but it's Utah. I feel like this is a pretty nice local neighborhood state. You know what I mean? So I would think that would more happen in other states. You know, a little bit more violent, but it's tragic that it happened here.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and it's actually wild that this is happening. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but yeah, I can't believe that I was actually part of something like that. But you hear about it, but you're like, is this actually going to happen? Like, to me one day, and then we were actually talking about it right before this, like, oh, the craziest part is, like, there was no checkpoints, nothing to get in here. Everyone was just able to walk in here. I'm like, I have my backpack. I'm like, if I wanted to, I could just bring a gun with me, but, like, I'm like, this is just crazy that everyone was just allowed in here and just with anything you could have in your backpack. And so I was like, and so there was no checkpoints, nothing. I just wish there was like some kind of checkpoints or something to at least check people, because if that was true, this probably wouldn't have happened. But I guess legislatively or by law, you can't have like checkpoints at some public schools. So I don't know how that works, but it's actually wild.
Had you seen a law enforcement presence generally around?
There was law enforcement presently around, but like the immediate response, I was like, is everyone like why are we not running more? Like, why is everybody sticking around? I was like, let's get the hell out of here. And I don't know. I just thought it was crazy. There was people there, but it didn't really. Everybody kind of just didn't know what was going on at the moment. They were just sitting there like watching it. Like, oh, did he really? I'm like, yo, dude, he got shot, dude. Get out of here now, dude. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. And I heard you on the phone earlier sharing, I don't know if you were with family or friends talking, but I imagine you've probably got a lot of people hitting you up to make sure you're okay.
Yeah, no, totally. All my friends like, oh, dude, are you okay? Were you there? Like, what's going on? I'm like, yeah, dude, it was crazy. I'm good. Like, don't worry about it. Like, I'm fine. But it was wild what happened. I saw him get shot, and I just immediately, we got out of there, bolted out of there. Cops are good now. I mean, they evacuated everybody, which is great. But it's just surreal, really, being in the moment, because you're like, this could never happen to me until it does, you know.
And I think it's surreal, and I think many would say it's sad that at an event where you come to hear political speech that this type of thing happens.
Yeah, it's crazy because Charlie Kirk, I love the man. He's a great guy, and I don't know why anybody would feel a certain type of way to shoot him. It's just a debater. Like, who cares? You're just a debater. Like, you're not doing anything or harming anyone. So why shoot anybody? Like, let's just talk. If we're gonna be in this environment, let's just talk about stuff. You know, I don't know why we have to like become violent about it. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy to me, but. Yeah.
Isaac, Chris, Erica, thank you very much for making a few minutes. Glad you're okay.
No, thanks
I will let you on your way now. Appreciate it, guys. So yeah, obviously these were some tense moments for those students that were here, and now we're going to show you here with some law enforcement walking by with weapons with them here on the west side of the UVU campus. Lots of law enforcement. I mean, where we are, I see law enforcement from Provo, from Orem, from UVU. We've been told the FBI is here. We've been told that other federal agents are here, and it's quite a scene. I mean, I've not seen anything like this. Certainly, I'm from here, grew up a couple miles to the east, and have not seen anything like that here, certainly at UVU or in this area. But you heard those witnesses here. I have one more individual who wanted to share a little bit more about what they saw. Tell me your name.
I'm Wesley.
Wesley, tell me what you noticed. You were inside there for this.
Yeah, so where I was at the line, I guess this side to the right of him, and I was just there to ask a question. I was there with a lot of my friends, just having a good time. We saw one person question him, just seemed business as usual. And then when the second person came up, he asked an interesting question about whether transgenders are disproportionately represented as mass shooters. And then I heard the shot, I looked over, I saw what I thought was smoke, and then I got out of there. And yeah, I think it's really interesting that the person asking the question was asking about shootings, right as the shooting happened.
A tense moment. What did you do in the aftermath? Because I know everybody started to run.
Yes. Well, there was too much of a crowd, to sprint, because, it's a big crowd. So I just act calm. I walked out in that underpass at the pace I could. And then the police, first they said they wanted to interview me, and then as things took a while, they were just like, hey, just give me your number. And then sent me on my way. So
pretty.
Yeah, it was.
Well, Wesley, thank you very much. Get your thoughts there. So we've heard from a number now of witnesses that me and others that have interviewed of people that were inside there, or I should say outside because it is an outdoor venue, when the shots were fired, when Charlie Kirk was shot. That's what we've got here from the west side of UVU campus. We'll continue to be here, but we'll send it for now back to you, Brooke and Tamara, in the studio.
Daniel Woodruff reporting live from UVU campus, where earlier today Charlie Kirk was shot. And we are hearing from the AP, who has confirmed that Charlie Kirk is in critical condition at a hospital, again, after being shot at this event held at UVU.
And though we don't know any other medical details on that, I think that's an exhale for a lot of people right now to at least hear the initial report of critical condition. The shot was fired. He recoiled. Bystanders describe him recoiling and immediately falling to the ground. It was quite a visually traumatic scene. But that's the latest update we can give, is that he is in critical condition. Dan Rascone is live there on the campus of Utah Valley University. Dan, orient us as to where you are.
Yeah, pretty incredible scene out here as far as talking to students. But let me give you a little idea as to where we're at here. Many of you, of course, know where the UCCU Center is at. We're just north of it right here. You can see all the traffic here, people trying to get out of this location, traffic completely backed up, a lot of cops, a lot of officers from a variety of different agencies all out here trying to be able to kind of lock down the campus, of course. And we've been hearing from students all along here. Many of these students right here, all these students have their own story. Let's start at the end here and kind of get your reaction. It's Ike.
Yes,
you
sir.
say, okay, Ike, tell me a little bit about where you were at, how close you were, and what you saw.
Yeah, so I was about 20 yards off the right-hand side of Charlie. Obviously, it's a traumatic thing. Nobody should have to see that in their lifetime. The taking of a life is hurtful and hard to see. But, you know, we were talking about, he was having a conversation with somebody about gun violence, actually. And he was hit in kind of the left upper neck area, kind of in the carotid artery area. And it was just a traumatic thing to see. I feel bad for all these wonderful students and alumni that were present and had to see that. It's a tough thing to see, but obviously it's a very serious thing that we need to all be able to work through and work through together as a community and come together and really rally around Charlie and his family. Nobody should have to worry about their father or husband going out and doing the things that he loves, and that's a tough thing to see.
How many shots did you hear, and what happened right after he was hit? What was the mood of the crowd?
Yeah, one shot rang out from what I heard. I don't know if anybody else heard different. One shot rang out and hit Charlie, struck Charlie, and I don't know if it's angels or good bystanders who jumped in and stopped more shots from coming, but I'm grateful that if somebody did, they deserve high praise. One shot hit Charlie, one shot rang out, lots of chaos, lots of panic. It's hard to stay cool, calm, and collected in those moments. And so, yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Stick around for just a minute if you don't mind. Your name and just what you saw, where you were at, what you heard.
My name's Kaya Meek, and then we were just about 50 feet from the left of him. And then I just remember he was on his second conversation, and then that's when the shot came, and then we just saw his head jerk back and shoulder, and we immediately just turned and dropped to the ground, and then saw people start getting up and running. So we followed in with that, and were able to get to the apartment buildings and get in with a really kind girl that started driving us. And then,
how scary was this? What was the mood there?
It was just really terrifying. I mean, I was kind of in shock, because I was like, no way that just happened, you know. But I'm definitely very grateful that there's only one shot and stuff, or else I think that a lot more people could have been injured.
Okay, thank you very much. And where were you at, and what did you hear there to see?
Yeah, I was with Kaya, and we were just 50 to 100 feet to the left, and just heard a shot, and then just saw his head fly back, and he just slumped in his chair and saw blood coming down his shirt, and then this people just yelling "get down," and then just see a flood of people going throughout these doors, so just ran and followed them.
Wow. You know, we hear about school shootings or university shootings, those kind of things. To actually be in there when it's happening, your thoughts about that?
I mean, you just never expect it to happen. You're just going to this event. You're not expecting anything to happen. So it's definitely shocking when something happens like that.
Tell me about why Charlie Kirk. What was it about? You wanted to go hear him, or what happened there?
He's on social media. I've seen a lot of him do a lot of debates. We just thought it'd be cool to come see him debate a couple people.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. And share with us where you were at and kind of what you saw.
Yeah, I was about 50 feet to his right. And I want to say that, like, he only got 1.5 questions in. The first question, he was very graceful when confronted about comparing Mormons to Protestant. And then the next question, right before he got shot, was asking about transgender mass shooters and the DOJ wanting to take their guns. And then he got a few words in, and then I heard that one shot rang out, and then he fell over to his left, and everybody panicked.
Okay. Man, thank you guys very much. I appreciate that. And boy, what a traumatic experience for all of these students here. Again, we're on the north side there of the UCCU Event Center here. Again, let me just kind of show you just traffic right here. You can see traffic completely still backed up. Everybody's still trying to get out of this location here. But you heard the stories there, you know, one after another. Just these are students that are just right there in the middle of it, and all of a sudden to have something like this happen right in front of them and witness something like this, just a very traumatic thing. But again, trying to get out of the north side here of the campus, boy, it is just a parking lot here. This, of course, happened, you know, about 12:30, right around there, a little bit after, and still here we are with traffic just really congested and everybody trying to get out of this location. We'll go ahead and send it back to you guys, and we'll continue to get more information out here and come back to you as soon as we have some more.
All right, Dan Rascon reporting live from the Utah Valley University campus there. And just to update you with the latest information that we've received, the AP reporting that Charlie Kirk is in a hospital in critical condition at this time.
The AP also reporting a few more details at the moment of impact. They described Charlie Kirk reaching up to grab his neck, right hand grabbing left side of the neck. There's quite a bit of blood. People describe it as very traumatic. He slumped to the floor, recoiled and slumped to the floor, and his security detail immediately assumed this scene. We have Jody Reynosa live on the campus of UVU. Jody, what can you tell us from where you're at?
Let me show you what I'm seeing here. You know, people keep mentioning the traffic as students, faculty, people try to get out and off of campus. But right down here, you can see just the line, the very long line of traffic. And then with people trying to get out of, you know, this exit area, it's just taking them a very long time. Some tense moments in the aftermath of this horrific shooting. Now, I'm here on campus just outside of the Wolverine services, and I also have, now there's probably about approximately 50,000 students that attend UVU, and I'm here with Marta Villa. She's a third-year student, and she wasn't there at the event, but she was in class, and still some very tense moments. Marta Villa, tell me, what was that experience like for you?
I mean, it was terrifying. None of us knew what was going on. I was just in class. Someone heard a stampede of people running down the hallway. They checked it out, and immediately they're like, lock the doors, just go in. There's been a shooting.
How were you feeling in those moments?
I think we were all terrified. I mean, yeah, I was very terrified. I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, I just wanted more information.
Now, there are people who have talked about, you know, I wish there were metal detectors and, you know, maybe some more safety measures going on. One thing that terrified you, you were telling me earlier, is that the doors wouldn't lock. So tell me about that experience.
Yeah, we tried to lock the doors, but we were having issues with that. So the boys in the class the men in our class just were guarding the doors.
So they barricaded themselves across the door, basically, to help people?
Yeah, they were just standing by the doors just to make sure no one came in.
You hear about all these things happening across the nation, and folks here in Utah, you know, they don't think it's going to happen here in Orem, you know, Orem-Provo area. What are your thoughts on that? Have you ever experienced anything like that?
No, I have not experienced anything like that, and I think no one would have thought this was going to happen, but unfortunately it did.
As you've talked to other classmates or other people in your cohort here at UVU, what have they talked about, and what are you kind of maybe reassuring them about?
Oh, I haven't talked to anyone really except my family, and they're just asking me what's going on, if I'm okay, and I think everyone is just wondering if he's okay and if the shooter was detained, which I found out he was, and so that was good news.
Any fear to come back on campus?
No, I think we have this under control, and I think our police are doing a good job of detaining and making sure everything's under control here.
Thank you so much, Marta. So as Marta was saying, you know, there's a heavy police presence here, armed. You can see their rifles out. A lot of them have been in unmarked vehicles. So there is a, you know, heavy law enforcement presence because they want to assure that, you know, everybody's going to stay safe. Nothing like this happens again today or in the future. And so you've heard it from Marta, her experience, and how nerve-wracking to have the doors in your classroom not lock. So you can, you know, we'll be having more information unfold as we get more details, but I'll send it back to you.
Jody Reynoso reporting live for us from Utah Valley University. Appreciate the update there. Let's go ahead and check back in with Daniel Woodruff, who is also there at the UVU campus. And Daniel, you've been able to talk to folks there on the ground as well, getting their perspective of what happened at this event. As we know, the UVU campus has since been closed, but still a lot of people trickling in and a huge police presence.
Yeah, we're here on the west side of the Utah Valley University campus, and campus has been closed, as you said. Classes have all been canceled for the day. People have been asked to leave. As we got here, we saw a very long line of vehicles trying to get out, so there was a major congestion due to that. But campus is closed here at UVU due to the shooting of Charlie Kirk. And I am joined now by Sarah, who is originally from Draper, a Utah Valley University student. I understand you were inside, and it's been a traumatic thing to witness. Tell me a little bit about what you saw and how you've been feeling.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a little bit over an hour, over an hour since it's happened, and my heart is still racing and I'm still shaking a bit. It's definitely scary. Basically, Charlie Kirk came out at about like 12:06. And everybody was super excited to have him there. And the first student stepped up and they had a conversation about like Mormonism and Christianity. And then after that, they had another student step up to talk about transgenderism and the violence and gun violence that's been surrounding that recently. And that is when Charlie Kirk was shot. It was in the neck, and I watched the blood just spurt out all over his body as he slumped over and fell down. I believed that he was dead on impact, but it sounds like he is in critical condition. So big prayers going out to him, hoping that everything is okay. After the shooting, everybody was kind of shocked, and everybody fell to the ground. Everyone was screaming and really frantic. My mom was with me, and she looked up at me and said, "Run." So me and my friend grabbed hands and we ran out of the building, out across the street, all the way to Bucked Up, across from Utah Valley, and just waited there. And we had a sweet retired law enforcement officer kind of help us out and make sure that we were safe. So, because processing something like this, I mean, you mentioned your heart is still racing and probably still replaying what it is you saw and heard. Oh yeah, 100%. It's definitely really traumatic, and I didn't really realize how shocked and traumatized I was until, I mean, at least 30 minutes after. I was really, I just couldn't stop crying, and I mean, it's so sad and it's so evil. So yeah, I'm just glad nobody else got hurt, but big prayers out to Charlie Kirk and his family.
And from your description, Sarah, it sounds like you were sitting fairly close to the front.
Yeah, I was in the 4th row back. That's when I saw him just get hit right in the neck, lower neck, and just blood spurting out all over. It was awful.
You had come here to this event to hear him speak. Why did you want to come, and what were your thoughts about him as you made the decision to be here on a Wednesday morning?
Yeah, so I have classes today, or did have classes. I had my morning class, and afterwards I went to see Charlie Kirk. I mean, he's an awesome guy. I agree with all of his political stances. And I was really excited to see him, especially at my own university. So yeah, just going out there to support him before my next class, and what a traumatizing experience it was. So
yeah, and I think a lot could be said for the fact that at an event like this, something like that happens. Have you been thinking about that since this occurred?
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was really ironic that he started talking about gun violence right when he was shot. I mean, it's just awful. And honestly, Charlie is a hero. I truly believe that, and I believe his family are also heroes, and I wish the best for them.
And finally, Sarah, what about you personally? Because witnessing something like this, I can only imagine. I have not witnessed something like that. And so where do you go from here, and what do you think about as you process this tragic day?
Yeah, good question. I'm definitely going to be seeing my counselor. I will have a lot of therapy, and honestly, I think it's just going to bring me closer to God. And yeah, through the whole experience, just lots of prayers, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of personal work.
Sarah, I really appreciate you spending a few minutes. Thank you. Best to you and your mom.
Thank you so much.
So here on the west side of campus, that's just yet another voice of someone who was at this event. And the event happened just right behind us. In fact, I'll step out of the way and let photographer Ray here zoom in again just to show you. And I know we've seen a number of vantage points of this, but that tent in the distance just past that overpass is where Charlie Kirk was speaking. And then all of those bleacher type places in the foreground or background, I guess, that is where people were sitting. In fact, from this distance, I can see a lot of personal items that were clearly left behind in the mayhem of the shooting. And now a lot of law enforcement are on scene, and there is crime scene tape up around the area. This is about as close as we can get from this particular vantage point, but we see police from just in this area, Utah Valley University, Provo, Orem, and then other agencies as well have responded in addition to federal agents. And so this is now sort of eerily quiet on the west side of campus. A lot of people have moved on, left campus. We're just seeing some stragglers walking through, but it seems like everyone who walks by was there. They heard what happened or they saw what happened, and then many of them ran in the aftermath of the shooting. And as you heard with Sarah there talking to me, her heart's still racing. This was a terrifying, scary ordeal for her to witness and to process. And certainly that's only just beginning for her to deal with the feelings and emotions of what she's seen. So that's the latest from the west side of the campus. We'll send it back to you for now in studio.
Daniel Woodruff, we appreciate that. I can't imagine for those folks who were there describing that traumatic scene.
Absolutely. Let's go to news specialist Alex Cabrero. He's at another vantage point on campus. Alex, you've been talking to people. What are you hearing now?
Right, we've been in a parking lot here for about an hour or so, chatting with some people, some students, some others who just came here for this debate. And you can still see there is still a little bit of traffic as people continue to leave this area, trying to get back to wherever they're going to. But I'm going to interview somebody named Taylor Westmoreland, and she's special to me because this is actually my niece. I've never really interviewed a family member before, but Taylor was on campus when this happened, heard the gunshots, and so I found out she was here, so that's kind of terrifying when you have a family member here. But Taylor, tell me, what did you tell everybody? What did
Download now.
Gunshots.
Yeah.
And you freak out. But
I was kind of like in disbelief for a second, and when everyone was running, and then yeah, I just started booking it. My friend threw her drink, and we just got out of there like as fast as we could. But
this is always something that happens somewhere else.
Yeah, no, it's odd to be a part of something like this. It's horrible, of course, and really sad for him and his family, but yeah, it was really scary. I'm glad everyone got out okay.
Okay, Taylor, give me a hug. I'm happy you're doing okay, and
Yeah.
that we met up and that you're doing well.
Okay.
Thanks, Taylor. Didn't
Thank
mean to
you
put
so
you on the
much.
spot.
No, you're
Thanks,
good.
Taylor.
Thank you.
So that's, again, I know that my niece is a student here, so I heard that she was here and kind of like wasn't answering her phone at first, and hoping everything is okay, and I'm happy she's okay. But just one of the many people here that just came out just to hear a debate, to be a part of something like this. Charlie Kirk is a big personality. A lot of people like what he has to say. A lot of people don't like what he has to say, but either way, on a college campus, you think this is something where you would maybe hear something you don't believe in or something that you do believe in, and then something like this happens. So it is sad. A lot of people witnessed this. I heard one of the interviews I think my colleague Daniel Woodruff was doing where one witness said he saw the blood, and that's just, it's sad. You know, how do you How do you decompress from something like that? You know what I mean? And that's what a lot of students are doing right now, just decompressing from something they saw today. And it's just an unfortunate situation. But traffic moving along, people continue to get out of here, and we will chat with some more students about their thoughts on this whole thing as we continue our coverage here. Back to you.
Well, Alex, we appreciate that. You know, there are so many students on campus right now for that event. It's hard when this hits home and it becomes then one of your own family members who is there at the event, and you're worried for her safety, of course, and glad everything is okay. Thank you for that report.
And we are continuing to get new information about Charlie Kirk being shot. AP reporting that Charlie Kirk is in critical condition at a local hospital. And this is something that we are certainly going to continue covering. We do have several reporters out there on the UVU campus. We do want to go ahead and check in with Andrew Adams. Andrew, as we've been hearing from Alex and Daniel and Dan, there are folks still trickling in, although campus is closed right now. Give me